Mathematics is everything now. You need all the time thinking in numbers.
This week, my guest is Nana Dihamengia. She's a maths guru and tech entrepreneur who runs cyber camps for girls.
Everywhere in the world, we still have this problem where there are not enough women in tech. But tech is changing everything.
Nana's mission is to educate a generation of girls who can change the status quo.
I remember everything because I was like 15, almost 15 years old when the war started.
We discuss how she survived war in the 1990s Georgia, the importance of maths in early education, and how tech solutions can combat lies. Please subscribe to The Rema Show wherever you're watching or listening. Nana Dihamengia, what an honor to have you in the Rema Show. I wrote down all the work. You are a mathematician, you are a techie person, you have so many things that you do. You have this education project in Georgia. You used to be the director of digital transformation at a private university here in Georgia. But so many things that you do, but when you meet people and they ask, as always, you know, those who don't know you, they say, what is it that you do? How do you shortly answer that question?
Yeah, it's. I usually say that I wear many hats, but my main income is that I'm co-founder of small research engineering company in Silicon Valley. It's called Clear Signal Solutions, and besides. Other main part is this educational projects in Georgia for school students and university students. So all other things are just, side projects.
I would love to talk about these exciting projects that you do here and outside Georgia as well. But I wanted to begin with your origin. Mm-hmm. That you come from Abkhazia, which is a really beautiful part of Georgia, but under Russian occupation for many years. You were born there. Can you tell me more about it? Do you remember living there? How old were you when the war started? And
yeah,
how
sure.
did that shape who you are?
Yeah, I remember everything because I was almost 15 years old when the war started. So I was there for the whole year, and we had to, exile through Chuberi Mountains, through Svaneti Mountains, this Chuberi Road.
This is the infamous walk that many Georgians had to make, which was. Can you describe what was it like?
It was very difficult because we were unprepared. We didn't know. We thought because that's how it was announced in radio that we would pass it like one day or a couple days maximum. But in total, the whole trip took around 8 days. In 2 days, we finished all our food and we were hungry. It was cold and it was very difficult to move. And we saw many, corpses, and it was very difficult. It was pretty traumatizing.
So people were dying?
People were dying. A lot of people died there because they didn't have enough strength to move. They would, to get to the forest to make fire at night, and they would freeze. They would have heart attack. And my mom, she collapsed, but someone just helped us. Some nurse who had some medicine with her, she helped us.
And where was your father? Was he doing the walk with you?
Yeah, we were the whole family, my father, my mother, my older sister, my uncle, who didn't know anything about, also from Sukhumi, but he didn't know anything about his family because they split it. It was pretty traumatizing. I remember this horrible feelings that, okay, we are going somewhere. I have small bag with me of clothes, but where are we going? what will expect us. We don't have any money, we don't have anything, so how we were going to live. And it was like the whole country was in bad situation. So
And that's 1993.
it is 1993.
And Abkhaz separatist forces backed by Russia,
Yeah.
they won this conflict, and hundreds of thousands of ethnic Georgians had to
300,000.
300,000 ethnic Georgians, they had to leave their homes,
Yeah.
thinking that they will go back very soon.
Oh yeah, we all were thinking that it will end soon and we will
But
go
now it's
back.
been more than 30
Yeah.
years, and
It is, yeah.
there's still.
The thing is that after that, I'm not afraid of any challenge. If I went through that, then nothing can scare me.
But then, of course, there were lots of difficulties for your family, for many other families that made it to the Georgian control territory, because there was no housing, and this country was going through. I mean, Georgia
Yeah.
was going through civil wars, like collapse of the Soviet Union. Where did your family end up living?
So University of Sukhumi opened in Tbilisi, and my father was professor there. Cousin of my mom, she offered her house to us. They didn't have big house, and there were like 5 people living there, but they shared everything with us for 1 year. It really helped us. Like they shared everything, like food, clothes, space. We didn't have any money. And then all this, U.S. support started, this humanitarian aid, and it also because we had a lot of difficulties. But for this 5 years when we lived, then they gave us this dorm, like former dorm of all the professional college. It was horrible situation, but it was our place at least. And of course we had a lot of difficulties. We didn't have money, but at least we had food. We always had food. Because of this humanitarian aid. And my parents were 55 years old at the time, and they lost everything. But my mom showed so much resilience. She started cooking and selling stuff. She's also a mathematician. Then she became here director of school which opened for internally displaced people. And she was working so much, and my father was working so much that it showed me so like great example that how you shouldn't give up.
So you mentioned that your mother was also a mathematician and your father an academic. So my question was going to be, why mathematics? But I guess it was quite a natural choice for you.
Yeah, I loved mathematics from my early childhood. I also loved reading a lot, and mathematics was kind of. I was a child who had difficulties to fit in, like socially. It was always very difficult for me to communicate.
You were a bookish girl.
Yeah.
Like,
so, but mathematics was helping a lot, like to understand how the world works.
Really?
Yeah. So, I think it was very
fascinating.
natural.
Like.
But then, when I graduated, when I got master degree, there was no money in maths. I was working in Institute of Applied Mathematics, but it was like 20 lari months. So I was tutoring salary. It was like part time.
Yeah.
And I was tutoring the school students in maths. But then I knew a little coding from university, and I was using it for, I started working on my PhD and some calculations of, in applied math. But then I started, self-learning like much more. And then when me and my husband, when we started working for the company, that's where we started living better.
Because your husband is also a mathematician.
My husband is also a mathematician.
And your children, are they also taking mathematics?
So my older one, he's in UC Davis, and he's computer science and engineering. And my younger one, he's in 10th grade now, and he loves math, coding a lot. Yeah. It's kind of in the family.
Yeah, it's in the family. You're not surprised. But I'm fascinated by. I mean, I was terrible in math, and do you think it's right, like, to assume, or how we were taught, that some people have inclination for math and others just like their brain doesn't work that way? Do you think it should be, or anyone is capable of learning math? What do you think?
I think anyone is capable of learning maths, like, you know, school level maths. It should be easy for everyone if it's taught correctly from kindergarten.
Right.
That's where you need to start developing. I always advise all my friends who have children that you need to start working on this quantitative thinking before school, because schools don't know how to approach, you know, like 20 kids in the class differently. And that's where there is like stages when this alienation to the math starts, and it's usually either in second grade when it starts more complicated, and again in fifth grade, and again in ninth grade. So we know where education does it wrong. And there is also this thing called math anxiety, which is purely psychological things, because when the math is taught incorrectly in the first grade, and then people are like, oh, how you don't understand that, because it's easy, it should be easy, right? It's just, you know, arithmetic, like, you know, simple arithmetic, right? And when teacher or parent or someone or, you know, classmates are shaming that, oh, how you don't understand, like 5 plus 3, that's all this math anxiety starts. So it really, I think mathematics is everything now. You need all the time thinking in numbers, right? Every, like, statistics and data science is governing our lives, and even to choose, do you want like some kind of vaccination or not, you need to read research and understand statistics and weight the numbers. So I really think that everywhere education systems need to transform this way and give people this skill of mathematics.
Yeah, and also confidence that you can learn it.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, the schooling that I had was so scary, and and you're right. The more kind of you develop, you go from second to third, fourth, and fifth grade. Then it's algebra, then it's geometry, and it's just But you said that you look at the world in, like, from mathematics perspective. How do you apply it in your, I don't know, everyday life? Like, does it help you in making decisions?
Because I always think in numbers.
Right.
Like, you know, I fly a lot, right? And some people are scared of flying. But I looked at the statistics that, you know, driving is much more dangerous than flying. So this way it makes me, you know, everything is, what is mathematics? Mathematics is not like separate science or something, right? It's the language of any science, like any science, and we live in the scientific world right now, right? So any science communicates using math language. So
Even music.
Yeah,
because
of course.
My father is a musicologist, and he always said that it's so connected to mathematics.
You can describe music in numbers, and that's how we have all this, you know, digital music, right? And digital programs for creating music.
When I met you and you started, this was something that really stuck in my mind when you said, I run camps for like girls who are 12 to teach them tech skills. Can you tell me more about this project and how important is it for you?
I had a lot of different projects for girls because I started volunteering for educational projects in Missouri when I was living in Missouri. Because there was, we were living in a small town. My son was interested in robotics. He was like 9, but there was no robotics club for this age. There was only for high school. So I was complaining a lot with local moms, so that we should push school. And one of the moms told me, but you know this subject, so start a club yourself. And it is like a pivotal moment in my life, because suddenly I realized that a lot of educational things like after school things my kids participate and I don't pay anything. It's not funded by government, but people are doing it. Volunteers are doing it, you know, parents or, you know, retired professors. And so I said, okay. And then I got used to it. And then I was thinking like, but I haven't done any of this in my country. So in 2017, when my husband was offered, so we lived already 5 years in Missouri, and my husband was offered job at Apple in California. Ilia State University here offered me to help them to develop engineering programs. So I said, okay, I go back for 2 years. Kids will remember Georgian again, you know, and I will bring all this experience there with different projects. And but then pandemic started, so I was living here for 4 years.
So you did start at robotics
in
kind of class.
I started.
And,
I was
your
coach
son was
yeah.
son was studying from like he was already 10 or something. Yeah,
Yeah, he was
so
9.
It was, 9,
yeah.
10 activities.
Yes,
Like.
and we started like Saturday school for robotics Saturday school for girls. So and this kind of different things like you know, future city competition. So, and then when I was back, I was doing with university different projects for girls, like engineering school for girls or like climate tech for girls. And then when Technovation, Total Courage offered, of course I said, okay, I have experience and I'm willing to do that. The thing is that it's totally volunteer project.
Technovation, it's a free, it's like franchise that you
Yeah.
can take and apply in your respective country.
So you have 12-week curriculum, and curriculum is all about how to define a problem in your community, then how to create a prototype of mobile app using you know, ready programs or coding. We also teach like basics of AI and how to train your data, and also how to write business plan. And then
There's
team
all
of
for
5 girls, all for
as
girls.
young as 12?
It starts from 13. We are doing
13,
2
yeah.
divisions. There is also younger division, but we are not doing younger division. But we are doing 2 divisions. It's junior is from 13 to 15, and senior is from 16 to 18. And the girls, they need to develop some tech prototype for this project with a business plan, record a video, and upload it on international site. And also they're presenting in Georgia at regional pitch competition. This year we had 700 participants initially, but then 280 girls uploaded the final projects. So we have now 8 semi-finalists for the world competition.
Wow.
They are assessed by international jury now. Last year we had success. One of the teams from Svaneti, they won, they become a champion of Europe in junior division.
So what was their idea? What was the...
they were working with, they developed a prototype of the device which would help local population to save, to control how they're spending electricity and to save electricity because it's free in Mestia. And the people are not, you know, paying attention how much electricity they're spending, and it's bad for the environment. Then in summer we are taking these girls to the camp. So this year we will have 95 girls and there are 25 mentors in Tsemi for 5 days, and usually our camps are very tech and very packed with educational things. This year girls will have basics workshops on Arduino, like microcontroller, basics of electronics, workshops on Python coding, and also game development, and also a little about drones, and different lectures on AI and climate tech and democracy tech. And why it's very important? Because we still, everywhere in the world, we still have this problem where there are not enough women in tech. But tech is changing everything, right? First of all, it's a very good instrument, economical instrument to develop the country, and also for economical, you know, like leverage for women themselves, because tech pays very well compared to other professions. And another thing is with the development of AI, right? We live in the world now which was developed by tech people, like Facebook totally change the way we communicate. And it's very important that this kind of products should, made will be made by women. So women participate in the development of the world in which they live, in future. So, and we still need a lot of this kind of projects to attract more girls to tech. So that's why I'm doing it.
And so, if those who are listening and they have a daughter who lives in this part of the world and they want to apply, like, what do you need to do to qualify?
So nothing. You just need to be that age. We don't have any school differentiations or any requirements for previous knowledge. You just should be interested in that. And we usually announce it in October, but this October will be very heavy. So
because of the elections.
Because of the elections, so we will wait till the end of the elections, and then we will announce the project. Hopefully, everything will go well.
Because as I understand, I know that you've been quite proactive in this weeks of protests that happened in Georgia from mid-April to all the way till June, really, over the so-called foreign agents law that will affect a lot of non-governmental organizations. And as I understand, you work here, you registered a non-governmental organization, so it will also be affected, so you will have to declare yourself as a foreign agent. I mean, you're doing all these great things for the girls.
So with NGO I will not be able to continue if this government will stay and this law will stay after elections. I don't know what will happen before, because first of all it requires you to declare yourself as foreign influence agent, and I don't want that label. First of all, it's a very bad label, and another thing is that we know what happened in Russia, right? They just started to alienate, to push all those people who had the label, right, and all the organizations. So probably I won't be able to continue with that. Another thing is that they require from you, it doesn't matter like you register or not. The government has the possibility, it's written in the law, to ask you for any private information, like any. And they can ask anyone, like any of your beneficiaries. So basically, if I continue this project, I'm exposing everyone around me and their private information to the Ministry of Justice, and I don't want to do that. I still have some project which is not related with the NGO. I collaborate with university, with Aalto University, and we just won this US Embassy Alumni Innovation Grant. So we will still have this project, which is medical technologies for 100 girls in schools, for high schoolers. Where they will learn also basics of the electronics. They will have lectures from Georgian scientists in biotech and medical tech, health tech, working abroad, and they will develop some wearable medical tech prototypes for different problems. So it's very interesting project. I will still have this project next year, but after that I don't know with what I will continue.
That's the thing about this law, is that when journalists, we've been reporting, of course, we focus mainly on non-governmental organizations that work in the area of kind of democratization, human rights, media organizations. But then if you look at the scope of organizations that will be affected, like your NGO, you're doing these amazing things like teaching tech to young girls and women. It's really upsetting.
I think that was their plan. They were specifically targeting all NGOs. It's all related, right? Because when I teach AI, I also teach about deepfake. I teach how propaganda is using AI, how to understand how to be, digitally resilient to this, hybrid war. So basically targeting NGOs, it's also one part of this big picture, not only political lobbyist NGOs, but any NGO who creates the civil society, better civil society.
Since we talked a lot about mathematics, is there any mathematical solution to the situation that Georgia finds itself?
I wish, but there is none. The thing is that I think we are a little late, the whole tech community in the whole world. I think we didn't realize how we are still in the situation of Cold War, but between different countries, and we all needed to work more on tech solutions, on revealing lies and deep fakes and this kind of things. So to work more with the society to make like general population digitally resilient towards disinformation and misinformation. So that's what we missed, and I think now everyone should work in this direction.
But you think it's too late or not too late yet? I mean, you have to put probably so much effort because the way propaganda and information war, I mean, is so advanced. But probably it's still not too late if the desire is there to tackle it in a takeaway.
So the thing is, it usually requires only community efforts is not enough. So it usually requires country decision. So if we will have like a proper government, I don't even say better, because if we only have like non-pro-Russia government, then government will realize under how much attacks they are from Russia, and will start working on this kind of solutions. So I hope it's not too late, but we need to put more efforts into it.
Is mathematics where you find the best expression of yourself?
I'm the happiest when I do educational projects for youth. When I see how they transform through my projects. And one girl wrote me, I'm studying now biomedical engineering, and it is because 4 years ago I participated in your project Engineering School for Girls, and now I want to do it for girls. These kinds of things.
Oh, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, and that's what I would be doing if I don't need to earn any money, That's the project I will be doing all the time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please subscribe and like The Ramesh Show wherever you're watching or listening